work with what we have, and we still have vendors putting their things up. So it's going to be a nice interaction amongst us. And I just want to, again, welcome Ms. Sanji and Mrs. Stephen Millett.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere just yet. We want to thank you. Thank you for having us. And we have a small gift for you.
If you notice on your tables, you have a book called Talk Straight, Damn It. And this is our t-shirt, hashtag Talk Straight. And we are going to be talking straight about black love. All day. All weekend.
If that's not the right size, see us afterward.
Yeah.
That's another size.
It'll work. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Appreciate it.
You are a blessing to us.
As you are to me.
Let's see, how do we find, Monique, she just found us on the web.
Yeah.
And this was just, you know, a spontaneous thing. It's God-breathed.
Yes.
Most definitely. And we're just so thankful for you for having us here. And we are really excited. We're going to get that excitement going, get our bloods pumping, and get everybody into this conversation. So, all right, we're going to talk about why does Black Love Matter first off. You know, we're here for Black Love Matter and this conference, and I'm just so glad you guys all came out, and baby, take it away.
Black love. What does it mean? How do we get here? What are we doing? We as black people in this experience called America have some unique challenges. We have had some historical challenges and present day challenges that linger from the historical. And we're trying to love each other, but many times we have to heal. Many times we have to deal with a lot of that trauma that was passed down in our DNA. We have to deal with that trauma that we experienced in our own upbringing and in our adult lives.
Yeah, there was a woman called Dr. Joy LeGroux. I think that's how I said that right? Degree, sorry. You can find her on the web.
Yeah.
She does a piece about the post-traumatic slave syndrome, okay? And how they broke the black family, you know, during slavery. And that has been in our DNA for a long time. Some of us don't even realize that we have this historical trauma, that we're just repeating history in the way we treat others and ourselves in our relationship. And if you get a chance, look that up or Google that on the web. It will blow your mind on how we think and how we pass down those types of things. And with everything that's going on today.
How do we get to where we are? How do we get to where we can see daily, over and over, our young men getting killed in the street, our young women getting killed in their bedroom? And this has an effect on us. And in the meantime, we're trying to have a relationship with somebody. And we're dealing with all of that. We're dealing with COVID right now. And what we're going to do, we're going to share with you a lot of little simple things that you can do. Keep in mind, I said simple. I didn't say easy. Because sometimes we have to put forth an effort to get from where we are to where we want to be. And we all want to love. We all want to be loved. And first of all, I'm going to share with you our definition of bliss, because we desire everyone to live in bliss. Bliss is the ability to love and be loved, to have abundance, in complete forgiveness, and without judgment.
Say it again, babe, because I don't think they got it the first time.
That's a mouthful. Bliss is the ability to love and be loved, to have abundance, in complete forgiveness, and without judgment. I'm not judging me, I'm not judging you. I'm not holding anything against you, I'm not holding anything against me.
Say it one
Absolutely.
more time. Hey, there we go.
Bliss is the ability to love and be loved, to have abundance, in complete forgiveness, and without judgment. This is something that we set our intentions for every day. Intend to be in love. Intend to be in love with yourself. Intend to be in love with the people that are around you.
Yes, yes. We want to thank you for investing in yourself today. We know that it took a lot of courage to come out of your comfort zone, to come here to Florida with all that's going on with COVID. You know, one of the things we always like to ask people is your relationship quarantine proof? Okay, some of y'all spent 5 weeks together and it was tough. Others, it was a no big deal.
Yeah.
Or it was the first time you got to spend time together. So we want to touch upon that type of topic throughout the day. We also want to do a little bit of a logistics work here to let you know what's on your tables in front of you that we're going to be using. So you should have your own copy. This is your copy to keep of our book, Talk Straight Damn It. Okay, if you'd like it autographed, see us before you leave the event and we'll autograph it for you.
And the subtitle is How to Turn Your Negative Limiting Beliefs into Powerful Actions to Create a Life of Bliss.
Okay, so we're going to cover some of the things that are in it, but of course we want you to read it. When you get done reading it and you love it, we know you will love it, please leave us a review on Amazon. The way that search engine works, the more reviews you have, the more you come up as a suggested topic later on. So please go out and do that for us if you have that ability. You'll see a tiny mirror in front of you. We're going to use that in one of our activities today. So you should have on yours is either white or black. You should have a couple of note cards and a small pencil because we have an activity where you're going to be doing some writing. There is a copy of our workbook. We're going to cover just a couple of them. We're not going to go through the whole workbook, but you take this with you, and as you're reading the book, it allows you to reflect on some things. Okay? And you have our feedback form, and we love feedback because we're always improving. We always want to continually improve and make this even better for the next time and the next group that we work with. So please fill this out and turn it back in before you leave today, if possible. Okay? Now, many of you do not know us. And babe, can we move this out of the way? I don't want to stand behind a podium today. Yeah, there we go. We need them to see us. And we're going to tell you about Stephen and I. And
I'm on the way, baby.
we're going to laugh. We got some fun today. We're crazy people, we are. All right, so we have been married 12 blissful honeymoon years. And we love to say it that way because from day one, we have been on our honeymoon.
And that's on purpose.
Exactly. As we said, we're the authors of Talk Straight Damn It. We're motivational speakers. I call myself your personal communication coach because I want to help you in the way you communicate to yourself as well as to your relationships, be it personal, work, what have you. So I help you with the way you're speaking that empowers you. I want to empower you in the way you're doing. And this is the Bliss Doctor. My beautiful husband. He is so amazing, so amazing. He's an ordained minister. He is a comedian as well. So he loves talking, as y'all can see, all right? And our home is always full of fun and jokes. I think I'm a better joke teller, but you know, he's the comedian. He is an instructor. He is a the steam fitter. He used to teach heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So everywhere I go, I know that the heating ventilation system's going to work. I'm like, baby, can you check that out? You know, last night, I'm like, that thing is making a lot of noise. She's like, yeah, that was the valve that goes to this. He does all of that sort of thing. There you go. So we are parents of a blended family of 5 adult children, and he is an amazing father. He helps them emotionally with their cars, their heating and ventilation systems. So I'm just so proud to have him in my life. He has been married 4 times, and I am wife number last.
I told her she stuck with me. So let me introduce Sonja, my wonderful, marvelous wife. First of all, let me tell you, she's a brilliant woman. She has a pocket full of degrees, as I like to call it. Bachelor's in chemistry, chemical engineer, and a master's in management. Sonja travels the world as a safety environmental expert, teaching people how to not blow themselves up, get home safely, not chop their fingers off. But aside from that, when I met Sanji, one of the things, well, there were two things that really attracted me to her. Her garage was neat. I walked in there, I mean, everything was like it was filed in a library or something. And she's also kind and quick to forgive. I noticed things like that. After having been in several other relationships, you realize how important that is. Sanji is the best stepmom in the world. She's always there. I came to the relationship with 3 daughters, and she had a daughter and a son. And together, we're raising them to be well-adjusted adults. And Sanji can have conversation with my daughters that I can't. And just her kindness, always doing what they need. I'll tell you a quick story. When we would have dinner, and because we got 5 finicky kids, and we own that, we done that to them.
Wonder where they got it from.
Sanji was so gracious, she'd have 3 meats and 4 vegetables, trying to make sure everybody had something to eat. And when we started dating, I was traveling a lot, and my flight was delayed, and I was supposed to pick my girls up. And so I'm calling, hey, I'm calling the girls, y'all gonna still be up, I'll come get you as soon as I get off the plane. And as time went on, I called back, only one daughter was up. I said, well, I'll come get you in the morning. What I did not know, Sanji had picked my kids up. Now, mind you, this is early on in dating, at my ex-wife's house. Took them to my house, got them fed, bathed, and 2 out of 3 was already sleeping when I got home. This is the kind of stepmom Sanji is, even to this day, even though they're grown. And I appreciate her. And as we embarked on this business together, if you want to test your relationship to grow, go in business. Because I got a lot of great ideas, and so does she. And whose great ideas is going to make it in the book?
Thank you, baby. You guys are probably wondering how we met. We met online. We met blackpeoplemeet.com. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I had gotten on there because my girlfriend had met somebody, and she's like, go ahead. I did that eHarmony thing. That was like 60-some questions. It was long. She said, no, Black People Meet, that's an easy survey. You'd fill out like 5 questions, I think it was. And so what we did was, I had a girls' night out at my house, and there were 4 ladies there. We had 2 laptops and 4 ladies, and we said, let's look and see who the prospects are. I was gonna let my girls help me pick out who I was gonna talk to. And while I was online, somebody popped up.
On that website, if you're online at the same time and you look at their profile, your picture will automatically pop up. So you'll see who's looking at you.
Okay. So it popped up on mine. He had a picture, and I wish we had brought that picture with us, of him on a horse in Jamaica saying, let's ride in the water.
In the ocean.
In the ocean, I'm sorry. In the ocean. And the second picture was, it was on the Tom Joyner cruise, and they had this, how to play musical chairs? Well, they do it with women and men. So the women stand around with their legs like this, and when the music stopped, the men jump in the middle and go underneath somebody's leg. So he had a picture of him underneath a woman's leg on the website. I said, I ain't talking to that playboy. Y'all crazy? And my girlfriend says, well, if you don't, I will. I said, oh, no, you don't. Not on my computer, you won't. So we took the bait, and we started talking, and then my girlfriend, who was also, because we had the other computer, looked at his profile so we could all see it, and she popped up on his computer. You take it from now.
And then, of course, being single, I said, how you doing? Then I get a note back from Sanji, said, how you gonna talk to 2 women at the same time?
In the same city.
I didn't have a snappy comeback, so I got her from the computer, we got a drink of water. Because I had to think of something to say. And this is what I came up with. Maybe you don't understand internet culture. You chat with many, but flirt with the ones you like.
So my heart melted. felt it. Needless to say, we talked for, we chatted back and forth. That was my first time on Black People Meet, and the only time I was on Black People Meet. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like, how am I going to find him? How does this work? He types his phone number into the chat, and I'm like, wow, okay. So my girlfriend said, just call him and just say, just checking and hang up. I ain't got nothing to lose. Call, ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
I'm just checking your number, bye.
I wasn't really sure how to handle that. Usually I just let the hang up stay that way. But I liked our little chat. I liked her picture. I liked her profile information. And I just rolled with it. We met 3 days later at Applebee's. And I told her I don't do late. And so when I drove up, of course I don't know what kind of car she drives. I'll go into the lobby, I look around, I don't see her. So I'm thinking I'm there early, and I'm waiting. And it's getting close to time, because I don't do late. And so I finally talked to the
Maitre d' or
greeter, whatever that was. And it said, oh, she's back here. And we've been together ever since.
Exactly ever since. He even shut down my profile on Black People Meet. Young boy, get out of here.
You know, sense of wasting time.
So we've been, like you said, together. It's been an amazing ride. Oh my gosh, we have traveled the world. He taught me skiing. So I now ski. In fact, that's how we caught COVID.
Yeah, we did.
Was on a ski trip.
Yeah, we were with about 700 of our favorite cousins. We belong to the National Brotherhood of Skiers. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And we had our event in Sun Valley, Idaho. There was over 700 of us there, and about 120 of us came down with it.
And I think four died.
4 passed from it.
Yeah, out of that group. So that's where I got that love. And golfing, we share a love of golfing and some other things, but we'll talk about all that.
Right. That impressed me about it. I took her golfing when we were dating, and she hit the ball. That first one pretty good, but it's a lot more hits to go. The second hit, that was good. I said, she got potential. And so we've been golfing ever since. And one of the things I appreciate about Sanji is that she's willing to step outside her comfort zone. She's willing to try new stuff. And in a relationship, that's what it takes. You have to be willing to try what the other person likes. They need to be willing to try what you like, not just, I'll go with you this time.
Baby, you're giving away all our material. Hold up. That's one of the parts. He's the creative speaker. I'm the organizational one. We got our note cards and things like that, but we got that balance. So I got to put the brakes on him sometimes. Here we go. All right, so my husband already gave you the definition of bliss, but it's also our process in what we do with our clients. And the B stands for be bold, make a bold decision. And I just want to let you know that if you want copies of our slides, all you have to do is give us your email and we will mail them to you. So you'll get all of these notes as well, and the definition is in there. So I appreciate y'all wanting to take notes, but I'm going to take away some of the anxiety of keeping up, all right? All right, so the B is to be bold, to make a bold decision. No matter what it is you are trying to do, you've got to make that bold decision, not hemming and hawing and being on the fence.
The hardest thing you'll ever do in life is make up your mind. That's it, the hardest thing. Because once you've made up your mind, now all your energy, all your focus goes in that direction. There may be things you don't know, but the hardest part was once you make up your mind, then you will begin to see all the universe. You'll see God. You'll see all the power working on your behalf, moving in that direction. But when you're between two, maybe I'll go this way, maybe I go that way, you become stagnant and stuck.
Sending your messages. Oh, I see some faces in the audience. Would you like to share?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep it that way for right now. All right, the next one is L. You got to leverage your past, okay? We have a lot of things that have happened to us, and as we're going to say many times throughout this thing, a lot of things had to go right for you to be here with us today. I know there were some things that went wrong in your mind, but a lot had to go right for you to be here. So you've got to leverage that past. You need to tell that story in an empowering way, not one that makes you the victim.
We'll get to that one.
There you go.
I'm staying on your course.
We want you to take inspired action. That's the I in bliss. because you need to travel a road that many people won't go on. You will have what others don't because you've done what others won't do. So you've got to do that inspired action. You need to talk to people and get information so you can understand what types of actions there are. You may not know what a possibility is, but the more you talk, that's when the universe will use somebody else to say, oh, by the way, I have somebody who can do that for you too. Would you like to? Then that's the connection that happens because you are out there, putting yourself out there to be inspired.
And the next one is S. Put yourself first. How many have a problem putting yourself first? We do for everybody else. And then we're depleted, frustrated, disappointed, mad at them because don't they know all the energy I put in?
You go like double hand, stand up. Two hands and stand up. There you go. Raise your hand.
They got both hands and both feet. So we're going to show you why it's so important to put yourself first. I'm going to do a little Bible on you, which says, love thy neighbor as thyself. You never heard it that way before. You just heard it differently. Love thy neighbor as thyself. So you have to love yourself in order to be able to love your neighbor.
And it's not selfish. It's just a part of making sure go ahead, baby.
Actually, what it does, it fills your cup to be able to serve them better.
I was going to say that.
We don't want to accord. You say a little, I say a little.
Yes. You want to you can serve from a glass that's full and overflowing so that you have extra to give to other people. So you got to make sure you're not empty right inside. And the last one
is the last S in bliss. Start now. You have to put effort forth now. How many have ever, wait for the right time? Wait till I get enough money.
Wait till I retire.
Wait till I meet the right person. Wait till this, wait till that. And you spend your life waiting. Just move in the direction of where you want to go. You may not know the whole plan. You may not even have a clue how you're going to get there. Just start moving. Because when you're moving, it's easy to redirect you. But when you're standing still, it takes a whole lot of energy. But if you start moving, you'll begin to see ways. You'll run into people. It'll seem like on accident, but it's really on purpose because you're moving in the direction of your dreams. Set your intentions on what you want. Believe you receive it. A lot of times we talk ourselves out, and we're going to get to that. One of the chapters in the book, are you talking yourself to death? I want this, but this is what's going on. I want that, but I can't have it. I mean, and it's almost like you're schizophrenic in our thinking. So what we want to do, we want to sync up the tongue in your mouth with the tongue in your shoe. Put them in the same direction.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. So throughout our talk, we'll be going back and forth between that, the definition of bliss, the acronym of bliss, so that you guys can see how that's really being put into motion. And then what we also like to talk about, especially when it comes to love, is our 3 pillars.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes our love so powerful, babe, is communication, kindness, and fun. Okay? Everything we do is about that. There's a story, what was the one about, is it kind or is it helpful?
Oh, this is one of the games we play with each other. You know, you always want to help your spouse, and sometimes you get a little instructional, which may not come across as kind. And so we play the game is that if you say something, it has to meet the 2 criteria. One is helpful. We know we want to be helpful, but is it kind? And so in a time when she wants to be instructional, and she is instructional, and I'll say, baby, was that kind? She said, yep, yes it was, yes it was.
Or I might say, nope, it wasn't. It was helpful, but it wasn't kind. I'm sorry, that's all right. I'll do better next time, but right now, do this, please. So that's what we're going to talk about. In this first half, before lunch, we're going to talk about communication, kindness, and fun as it pertains to you and treating you. And then after lunch, we're going to talk about communication, kindness, and fun as it pertains to relationships.
How many ever thought about being kind to yourself?
Good job.
All right. Oftentimes we don't. I'm glad you have and do, because it's important. It's easy for us to be kind to our kids, kind to a stranger, kind to all kind of folks. But are we kind to ourselves? Wow.
You were talking about your children at breakfast, and I'm sure you're showing them how to be kind. By setting the example and treating yourself, you're showing them. So our first part of this, it starts with you, okay? And we're gonna talk about communication. Take it away, baby.
If you take a look at the title of our book, it said, Talk Straight, Damn It. And the first thing that comes to mind is what I'm gonna say to Sonya, because I'm gonna tell her straight.
No chaser.
That ain't what the book is about. That's when we talk about communication, we start with ourselves. What is the story I'm telling myself? Think about the story. I'll give you a story I used to tell about myself when I was kind of in the victim phase, was that my daddy was only around 2 years out of my life. 2. One when I was 8 and one when I was turning 16. Now that story does not empower me. It doesn't even make me feel good. Don't make me feel good about my dad. And what we want to help you do this weekend is tell an empowering story of you. So I stepped back and looked at the situation. When I was 8 years old, my mom had what they call a nervous breakdown. Today they would call it a psychotic break. She was diagnosed paranoid, schizophrenic, and bipolar. And when she became challenged and could no longer take care of my sister and I was 8 years old. We were living in Suffolk, Virginia, right here on the East Coast. My dad was in the Air Force in California and had recently gotten married to another woman. I don't know how the conversation went, but my mom called my dad and said, hey, come get these kids. All I know is my daddy showed up when I needed him. Grabbed me and my sister and took us off to California with him and his new wife. So rather than he wasn't there, when was he? He was there when I needed him. Then we fast forward to when I was 15. And I was back living with my mom, and she and I weren't getting along. And she threw me out at 15. At 15. And my dad sent me a bus ticket. By then he was in Massachusetts. So they put me on the Trailways bus. Some of y'all may remember Trailways. In North Carolina for an 18-and-a-half-hour ride at 15 by myself. But once again, my dad was there when I needed him. And so I didn't change any of the facts of the story. But I changed the story in a way that empowered me and helped my relationship with him.
Let me give an example too.
Okay.
In the book, you'll read a story about me being molested. And in that marriage, I didn't know anything about sex, my first marriage. This is my second marriage, my number last as well.
That's right.
And in my first marriage, sex was just, it wasn't interesting to me. It was just something you did, I guess. And so I built up in my head that I was damaged, that I was no good at it, all of those things because of that thing that happened to me. But what it actually taught me was to be more open, to listen, to learn, instead of being stuck in that molestation and being afraid of sex, that S-E-X word, sex. I was able to turn that around and use it as, well, I did this, let's try that. I learned to use it as a way to get better, as a leverage into my new relationship. Yeah. So babe, why is it so important to watch what you're saying to yourself?
Because we can talk ourselves out of a promising future. we can talk ourselves out of a good relationship. We can talk ourselves into not even applying for that job. We can talk ourselves out of starting that business I've always wanted to start. So what's the conversation in your head? What are you telling yourself? Because we are a culmination of what we have said and believed right where you are right now. So in order to get to where we want to go, we have to think and talk and then begin to act in that direction.
Well, what if I got all of these things that my mama used to say? You know, mama always is right, right?
Money don't grow on trees,
No, 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 no. And don't trust that man. Don't ever trust a man. Don't get that man your money, girl.
And you know, the women, all they want to do is spend all your money. So you better hide that money. Now, these are the stories we get, ain't don't we get these stories? And so we come to a relationship with all this in our head.
The baggage.
And a promotion comes available on the job. We talk ourselves out, don't even apply. And then you get upset because they put somebody in there that didn't know how to do the job.
So what do I do with all this stuff? I mean, you got to look at who told it to me. You got to think about all these stories. But what do I do?
What do? You have to introduce new information. If you enter tomorrow with no more information than you have today, you don't have a future. You have a longer today. So in order for me to grow, I have to introduce new information, which is different than what I already know, and be willing to act on that information. We have to.
Yeah. And some of the stuff that we were told may not serve us today. It may have helped back then. It may have been a good guidance to keep us from being promiscuous when we was younger and things like that. But it may not be serving us today. And when you come up with a, what's it called, the I ain't gonna nevers?
Yeah. We all have a few I ain't gonna nevers. I ain't gonna never do that again. I ain't gonna never let nobody treat me like they treated me before, you know.
When we come up with those, we need to make sure that we are challenging where we got it from, and is it serving us today? And what if it was wrong?
Because sometimes we just hold on near and dear to something Grandma said. Grandma's 80 years old. And what she said might have been good then, and it may even been good when she told it to us. But here in 2020, does it serve us today? And so when we re-examine why we believe what we believe, that gives us an opportunity to grow. Do you enjoy being you? Do you, just thoroughly wake up, look in the mirror, I love me. You know, what Terrell Owens, he said, I love me some me. You know, they laughed at him, but that's a powerful statement. You have to enjoy who you are. You have to be kind with because of your shortfalls and things that you may have lacked. It's okay, I'll try again tomorrow. I did the best I could today. But tomorrow, I'll try to do better.
When you're developing things that you say to yourself, like the I love me some me,
Yeah.
some of the tips that we have that you can do when you go home is put it on the mirror. So when you're going through and you forget, you can look up there and see. I've got on my mirror, we've got sticky notes on all the mirrors, depending on who's looking into that mirror, what kind of sticky note you need. There was a time period when one of our daughters went through depression. We've got a daughter that's going to PA school and she just doesn't think she can do it. So we put sticky notes up there and you look up there when you see it. You just don't go past it, you read it. Mine is, you are my happy place. And that I'm all the things that I need him to be, or that he needs me to be. I have that up there. Put those up on your mirror. They're affirmations. You've heard about affirmations, speaking the positive, but a lot of people don't say put it up on the mirror. Yeah. I don't care. I've got sticky notes everywhere up on the mirror. Another thing we use, and that's why I was picking up my phone. I wasn't doing any texting or anything. I was getting it ready. Go ahead,
and
babe.
when you're building your affirmation, you put it in the present tense.
That's right.
You say it. You start with I am powerful, I am loved, I am worthy, I am accepted. So you put it in the positive. I'm in a great relationship, even if I want to have a relationship. Put the I am, put it in present tense, because when you do that, it builds you and it helps attract exactly what you want.
Brings the power of God in the universe.
Yeah.
I am that I am. I am the great I am. Use that statement, I am. One of the things I like to do is technology. And we all, and I'm glad she's not in the room. Alexa, you know, you got an Alexa at home?
And my daughter,
Yeah.
I'm a boss chick.
There you go. But we use Alexa to tell our affirmations, and I'm going to see if I get this to work on here.
Good morning. How does it feel to be best-selling authors? The best is yet to come. People are waiting for your message. Show gratitude for all you have. A lot of things had to go right for you to be where you are today. Sanji, Stephen wants you to stay beautiful and have a marvelous day. Know that you are appreciated and he loves you. Stephen, Sanji wants to thank you for being the best husband and father in the world. You deserve the best, and she is that and more. Stay sexy.
You can program that into routines. If you send us an email, I can send you my little quick card or instructions on how to do that. But when you're alone, listening to that device and pre-preparing it so that when you get in those moments, you know that you're going to have them, you can play that. Like if work is going bad, you step out, play your little affirmation, and then come on back in, okay? And
So
remind yourself of who you are.
That's just an opportunity to leverage technology. You know, we're in this technological world, and so we need to make it work for us. Technology in and of itself is not good or bad. It can be used however people want to use it. But we want to leverage it to help us move into our bliss life.
And one more tip, and baby loves this one, using more ands.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't even ask him questions anymore because I know what the answer's going to be.
and the answer is yes and yes. Oftentimes we live in an either or world, but I challenge you to live in an and world. Because oftentimes she wants to do something and I want to do something. And it's not a choice of hers or my desire. It's a matter of her desire and my desire. And when you approach life from and, it gets real fun. I promise you it gets fun because you stop limiting yourself. Like the title of the book, breaking those limiting negative beliefs. Or is limiting. Or is telling me I can't have both. But Ann said I will.
When we go on vacation, you know, everybody's looking at the list, like being here. Let's see, can we do this, or this, or this? It's like, and, let's figure out how to make it and. Let's get what you want and what. I want a massage, she wants to go golfing. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna make it and. And we both can do it together. All right, so that's the next one. So this is gonna lead us to our first activity. This is called the Whisper. And during COVID, we would have had you guys stand up, but we respect COVID, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. And we want you to turn to page 4 in your workbook. At the bottom of page 4 is item number 10. Okay? And item number 10 says, list 1 to 2 things you wish someone would say to you. Okay? Like growing up, I always looked for my mother's approval. I might want to have her say it. She gave me a lot of affirmations, but, you know, you can do it, or I love you. Some of us have had parents that never said I love you. Or I was in a relationship with my first husband, and he hated me to say I love you. You might say, why? Well, it was because he wasn't in love with me. And when I said I love you, it made him feel less than. So he talked me out of saying I love you. For many, many years. It took me a long time.
Well, tell the story about right on the beach.
Oh, when we were on our honeymoon.
It wasn't me.
Not his. The other. When I was on my first honeymoon, I went into the beach, and you know, you've seen all the beautiful movies when you're growing up, and they on the beach in a tropical area, and you write the heart, and I love you in the heart. He wiped it out. Because he didn't want to say that. And later I found out he didn't even want, at the altar, he didn't want to get married at all. So it was a strange relationship. And A lot of that had to do with what I was telling myself. I had always told myself that if you love someone, you marry them. I never got that other half of they should also love you. So that was the story in my head. So I went forward when I should have said, hold on. Take a detour, find Mr. Right here. So that's what we want you to do. Write down 1 to 2 things you wish somebody would say to you. You know, doing the business, I didn't think I could do a multi-million-dollar business. And when I finally recognized that I could, that I've been doing it for my job.
For other people.
I didn't even realize that. I'm like, I can't do it for myself. But every day I get up and I do all of these things for them.
On a plane to China.
Flying all over the place and doing all the number crunching and trying to market the materials and things like that. That's the stuff I could do. I didn't think I could do it. So I had to say to myself, you can run a multi-million-dollar business. I am running a multi-million-dollar business. I want you to think of 1 to 2 because we're going to use those here in a minute. So take just a minute or so and write something down. And when you get finished with that, find one of them that you like and write it on that pink card and bring it up here to us.
So,
Okay.
is it past tense, wish, ED?
Or, no, what
Either
you want
way,
to hear today.
Well,
Either way.
either way, if something you wish someone had said to you or you wish someone will say to you. So you are appreciated.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Sometimes you just need somebody to say thank you.
You gonna collect those?
Sure. I'll take the pink card once you finish writing. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I think we've got everyone. Now what I want you to do, oh, one more? Go ahead, please, we wanna. Yes.
You got one?
Oh, sorry. We got one over here too.
Okay, all right. Take a couple more moments. If you can't think of anything that you want someone to have said, maybe there was something someone said that was meaningful.
Or
right?
something you should have said to someone else. So, I just realized my microphone wasn't on the whole time. Okay, so we've got some meditation music on. What I want you to do is I want you to sit there and close your eyes. And I want you to breathe in, a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Do that again. And out. And I want you to envision yourself, hear our voice, but you're going to envision us speaking to you. Revert back. So, one more time, breathe in, breathe out. Daughter, I want you to know that I did everything I could in bringing you up, that I was the best woman I could be for you. I'm sorry if there's something I forgot to give you in life that would have made it easier for you. I'm sorry if there were things you needed and I didn't know. Son, I wanted to show you what a woman should be, and I'm sorry if I didn't do that. I wanted to teach you how to treat the women in your life, and I'm sorry if I didn't do that.
My daughter, I apologize for not being there for you in your time of need. I'm sorry for not protecting you when I should have. My son, I did the best I could with what I had. I was not aware of what you needed. Please forgive me.
I wish I could have asked you, what can I do to help you? What is it that you needed? I want you to know today, don't worry about anything, because I got you. I am here for you. I know you can do everything that you have set out to do. We can work as a team. We can do this thing. Even if I'm not here with you right now, know that we can do it.
You are valued. You are appreciated. Everything you have done, I appreciate. I appreciate you being you.
I am your ride or die. I got your back. You can do this.
You don't have to change anything about you unless you want to. I accept you just as you are.
You are perfect. You are perfectly designed the way that God wanted you to be designed. You are everything you need and more. You are your rescue. And no matter what, you're a winner. Know that you are a winner. You're a winner because you got up this morning and you're on this side of the ground. You're a winner because you came here today to get what you need. Now let's take another deep breath in and one out. One more. And out. And slowly open your eyes. How was that for you? Anybody want to share?
It's calm. It was enlightening. Because some of the quotes that I heard you guys reading, I felt like my wife had actually told me all of that one time or another before. So that was.
And what you heard, somebody else wrote down, but you needed to hear it too.
Probably so.
Thanks for sharing.
Someone else?
Inspiring, motivating. It gives you an opportunity to check on yourself and know that you are more than you think you are. And I want to go a little deeper and say that we walk around and we smile. And we have what I call a clown face on. But no one knows what's going on internally. Hearing some of that, it makes you do a self-check.
Exactly, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for sharing.
One more?
It was affirming. I'm starting a new chapter, and just to know that I can do it. I can do it. I may have some doubts, but I know somebody got my back. So it was affirming.
Exactly, exactly.
Excellent.
On your table is a mirror. Open that mirror up. And I want you to say one of those things to you. When our daughter was going through depression, one of the things I did was I took her in the bathroom and I told her to say, "I love you." She'd never said "I love you" to herself. And it actually was quite hard for those words to come out of her mouth. And with those words came tears, because she had never said it to herself. Sometimes you have to be your own self-rescue. So take a second. I want you guys to say one of your affirmations to yourself, looking at yourself. Say it out loud, or come on, let's make it. Thank you. You have a mirror? It's really hard to be able to say that, to look at yourself and love yourself and treat yourself with kindness. Okay?
I love you just the way you are.
So keep the mirror, take it with you. Look at that, talk straight, damn it, open that mirror up. And talk straight to yourself on that part of it, okay? Wonderful, so thank you for participating with that. We're gonna move into kindness. We've talked a little bit about kindness and showing kindness to yourself. Go ahead, babe.
How would you treat your best friend that was going through a hard time? Or had made a bonehead decision? You knew it was bonehead, they knew it was bonehead, but that's your friend. How would you treat them? That's okay. Try again. It's not a big a deal as you think it is. Be kind to yourself. When you miss the mark you set for yourself, be kind. Say, like Les Brown always say, I'm still in the game. I got another chance. That kindness goes a long way. We always project kindness, but what we want to do is continue to fill our cup with kindness. I know I can do it. So what if I flunk that test 4 times? Take it again. So what, I flunked 3 marriages, you know. I'm just saying.
This whole thing is a never-ending journey. We got a lot of those, so we say to ourselves, don't we?
Oh man, it can be frustrating, especially when you try something over and over and you just keep not getting the results you want.
They gotta use that bounce back muscle.
They gotta use the bounce back muscle. What you talking about the bounce back
Bounce
muscle?
back muscle. So,
Y'all didn't know you had a bounce back muscle, did you?
right. It's in there. They didn't cover it in medical school or science or anything like that. But the bounce back muscle is your ability to get back up again. And sometimes it might take you a long time to get back up. You know, when people go through depression, sometimes they go through depression for years. My mother used to say to me, put your big girl panties on and get back out there. That was making my bounce back muscle really short. Okay, to the point where I didn't feel things when they happen sometimes. But sometimes you just gotta feel it. You need to just sit in it and be able to work your way through it. And every time you get back up there and try again, you're working that bounce back muscle. And over time, it'll get shorter and shorter and shorter in time frame. But we all have it, you gotta use it. Yesterday, I was coming home from work, and my husband is always responsible for filling up the cars with gas. Okay, I don't even remember what the price of gas is anymore. He does it so much that he's so faithful for doing it. But we decided that we have these pick and save points, and you have to go to BP gas station to use the points to get 10 cents off or 20 cents off. So to do it, we wanted to put both cars at the gas station. So I come home, I'm on my way home, and we had talked, I'll meet you at the gas station. And I said, babe, are we gonna use those points? He says, I don't know how to do it. I said, okay. So I go to the gas station that's around the corner from our house, and I text him, I'm here. He's like, okay, I'm on my way.
You sent 3 messages. I'm here, I'm on the phone talking
It was
with
like Kelly, yep.
And this was another message.
Something else in there.
However,
He only saw the last
I
one.
didn't see the one that says, I'm here at the gas station.
Okay. So he comes out of the house, gets in his car, drives past the gas station. I'm sitting
No,
there.
it's a different direction, sweetie. I didn't
Oh,
go
I'm
back,
sorry.
because I didn't even know that gas station was over there. I go to the BP station that I know.
So this is the communication part, because now I'm hearing the real story, because I was sitting at the one around the corner from the house.
Well, I didn't know I didn't know the one was around the corner from the house. So I'm at the gas station. I'm just, it's taking a little long. I'm just gonna be patient.
I texted
I'm
him,
chill.
get off the phone with Kelly. I'm like, where are you? I'm at the gas station. He's like, I'm at the gas station. I'm at the BP. I'm like, oh God. I was at the 7-Eleven.
Oh, you weren't even at the BP?
I was
Now she tells the rest of the story.
I was around, you had to go past me. So I get in the car and I am fuming. I'm like, really? I've driven all this way, 30 minutes from work. Now I gotta drive another 10 minutes to this gas station he's sitting at. And I just had to stop. The reality was that all he wanted to do was fill up my tank with gas. And I had blown it completely out of proportion. And I pulled up to the gas station, and he's like, you all right? I'm like, I said, I'll be okay. And I said, thank you, because that's all I could muster up the words to say. Not, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Just, thank you. Got the gas, and I went on back home, and I sat in the garage when I got there, and he's like, come on, I'll carry your stuff in. I said, I just needed to sit in it and recognize and realize it so I don't keep doing that. That was one of my things. So it's a journey. You're gonna keep, even if you were where we are today, you're still gonna have those issues. You gotta practice that bounce back muscle and be kind to yourself. So I had to let myself go. I'm gonna do it. Probably won't be the first time, it ain't gonna be the last.
But that's the beauty of this journey, is understanding that we're human. And don't take everything so personal. I wasn't deliberately trying to frustrate her. She was not deliberately trying to mislead me. But somehow our wires got crossed, and we could still be fighting now. That was just yesterday.
No, actually, it was Friday.
It was Friday. It was Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. But
Thursday.
But you know how sometimes you get upset and you just carry it on to the next day. Carry it on. That reminds me of another game we play. Are you carrying that? Are you still carrying that? In the book New Earth, Eckhart Tolle talks about a story of 2 monks. They were walking on this long journey, and they came upon a creek, and there was a lady there dressed in a beautiful kimono, and she wanted to get across the creek, but she didn't want to get her dress wet. And so one of the monks goes over and says, can I help you? So he talks to her, picks her up, takes her, sets her down on the other side of the creek, and then they continue on. The other monk is furious, because in monkdom, I don't know what to put it. One, you're not permitted to talk to women, and touching one is a sure violation. So they're walking, and he's just mad. He's furious. And he finally stops and turns to the other monk and says, "Why did you touch that woman? Why did you speak to her? You know it is strictly forbidden." And he turns back and says, "Are you still carrying that? Because I set her down on the other side of the creek." And so when we have misunderstanding, miscommunication, we ask the question, are you still carrying that?
Yep, and we'll keep on carrying it till tomorrow.
And so you show a little grace for answers like that, because she's not quite finished with it, but okay, I'll see you tomorrow, it's good. You know, and so I mean, you just kind of work with each other, and be kind to yourself like that.
I like the Snickers.
Oh, the Snickers, yeah.
So this is our communication. I mean, we're talking about kindness, but that's how we come up with our code language, so that when we're out in public and something happens and I come home, like he could have said that yesterday at the gas station, "You need a Snickers?" You know, so if we're out and he's like, "Hey, I think you need a Snickers." It's a kind way to tell me you're not the woman that you normally are, or the one that I enjoy seeing. You know, he could have said a different kind of way. He's saying it in a way that, okay, it makes me smile. Yeah, I need a Snickers. Okay, I'll take my Snickers and I'll be fine. You know, to get over it.
And nothing wrong with offering 2 Snickers.
We actually have little baby Snickers by the chairs, like here. So that type of communication, so that you can get out of it and not be in that moment and so forth, and give space if you need to have that space. You know, when we show kindness to ourselves, we talked about showing it to kids, but it shows people how to treat us. If you are always giving everybody birthday presents, and you don't give yourself one, you know, it says something. It's like everybody else is worth it. It's more valuable than more valuable than my feelings. Or you're throwing everybody else a birthday party, but you never give yourself one. So you need to do that, and especially to show people around you, your spouse. You're like, well, you don't ever buy yourself flowers. Why should I? You know.
One of the things is, have you ever heard parents say, "I've given that kid everything"? But what they don't say, at the exclusion of myself. So that kid sees the world revolves around them and not you.
And when they grow up to have a relationship, it's going to always revolve around them.
But they can also forget you. Because, well, he knew it was my birthday, but but everything is about someone else. So you have to love you, teach others how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. When you set that example, I ain't accepting nothing less.
And that's chapter 6 in our book. It's called Love the One You're With.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a good one for you to follow up. You know, you don't have to read a book always in order. If there's something you need, pick that chapter, read it. Because other people are like, oh, this is a long book. Well, maybe you just need that little bit out of it. And we use books to improve our communication. We listen to Audible a lot, and we share the account. So then when I come home, I'm like, man, this really resonated with me. And so we have a conversation about it. That keeps the conversation going all the time. Even if it's somebody you're finding it hard to talk to, maybe, you know what, let's watch a TV show together. Oh God, what did we used to watch? We watched Jerry Springer. He is not the baby's daddy.
Oh, that was Maury.
Maury, sorry. Maury Povich, all right, gotcha. And then we got the divorce court woman we used to watch all the time. Watching other people go through pain and talking about it, if it was me, takes you away from that moment. And I think I'm going into relationships.
But it also helps you see another perspective. And that's what we need to develop sometimes just for ourselves. Just a different perspective, because we look at our life through this tunnel, but there's another perspective that can maybe give us a little more peace about that situation, peace about that relationship. Because when I was going through my therapy, therapy. It lasted over several relationships, but I'm better now. Is that going through that phase where you're starting to open up and you're talking about your childhood and what you wish your parents would have did and what they could have did. And my therapist looked me square in the face and she said, "You understand your parents while they was trying to raise you. So understand, people, they're going through stuff. And a lot of times you really ain't on their mind. They worried about all this other stuff. And you taking it personally, it ain't even about you.
And lastly, under kindness, we want to talk about maybe my favorite land is CWS.
The land of CWS. Y'all ever heard of land of CWS? You ever heard of coulda, woulda, shoulda? Stay out of that land. Oh, how many of us look at, I should be further along financially? I should be in this kind of relationship by now. I should be, have this promotion. Get out of that land. You are where you are. Be grateful for that. It took a lot for you to be right where you are. I mean, you made it through. I mean, there are situations you made it through that other people may not have had the same outcome.
Preach.
I mean, so get away from shoulda, woulda, coulda. One of the things I encourage people to do, stay away from should. Because should is a bad road. Because whenever I say you should, what I really mean to say is you should have made my life easier. You should do this. Why? Because it make my life easier. You ought to do that. Why? Because it make my life easier. Stay off the road should. Coulda. If I could have went to college, I could have got the right degree. But I am where I am. And I'm thankful for that. All of that great experience. Figure out where you are and where you want to be and start moving in that direction.
Your
Start
journey
moving,
is your
start
journey.
moving in that direction.
And a lot of the things you went through are to prepare you for that future. So you can stay there, or you can move on to that future.
Because what were two of our favorite words in that book? That we don't want, well, the land of coulda, woulda, shoulda is filled with ruminating.
Oh, I forgot about ruminating and catastrophizing.
You ever went through, say, a bad breakup? Not that I've had one. And, I mean, you go and tell your friend, you know what she did to me? She ain't right. I go to my other friend. You know what she did to me? She didn't do me right. I told that story so much, I was tired of hearing it. So, I mean, but that's ruminating. What you do, you rehash the past. And when you do that, what people don't know is that you really relive it.
Just like when you're raped or...
Because you go through that emotion. And so you're bringing yourself through that experience again. And that is your fault. Because you're going over and over it again. And then one day I finally realized that when I didn't want to hear it no more, and I'm sure my friends were tired of hearing it.
Or as my mama say, I can suck enough snot. I'll be fine where I am now. Okay? When you get tired of sucking snot, you'll stop. So that's exactly...
So you know, get out of the going over it again and again because you relive it. Let it go.
And the catastrophizing, now, that's projecting
In the future.
past into the future. You know, I'm not going to get on that plane because planes crash. We have some clients who were terrified to get on planes. The reality is that it's more dangerous to drive a car than to get on a plane.
Ain't gonna get married no more because all the women's is bad.
We know you didn't catastrophize. So you have to be careful when you start projecting into the future. Even he coming here, getting ready, like, babe, we need to have this, and he's like, breathe, take a breath, come on back here where I am. So having that person that brings you back to be grounded to where you are is very helpful. And you need to say, that's showing kindness to yourself, having that ride or die, somebody wrote down ride or die person who can bring you back and get you out of coulda, woulda, shoulda, and ruminating and catastrophizing, and understanding those terms. And when you share this information with them, now they've got a language that they can help you with to be able to, hey, are you still carrying it? So that's what you got to do with the kindness part of it. So we're going to move on to the fun part. I hope it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun. Well, we talked about communication and kindness. Now here comes
Now,
fun.
Think about it from this perspective. You have to schedule your fun. Why must you schedule your fun?
That's why I did.
Because your problems will schedule themselves.
COVID, it scheduled itself in our life.
Ain't nobody playing for that one. It just showed up. But you have to be committed to your fun, just like a doctor's appointment, just like getting to work on time. You got to put it on the calendar. I don't care what's happening. We gonna have fun right now. I don't care if I'm mad.
Now, some of you don't like calendars. I'm sorry, that's my best friend, my calendar. And I always tell him, I'm like, okay, did you put that on the calendar? He's like, babe, we're going to go golfing at 8 o'clock. Is it on the calendar? Because what'll happen is I'll forget and I'll schedule something else over it. And now I've got a conflict. But if it's on the calendar, to make sure we have it. And try to do something for yourself at least weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Be it sit in a chair and drink a cup of coffee. Be it go get your hair done. No, I do that one. Okay, every week get my hair done. Okay. Or get your nails done, all that sort of thing. And my husband loves to go with me to get our feet done.
Yeah.
He got introduced to that, and now they know him at my nail salon. Where's your husband? Is he coming? Your husband coming today? And they got to get that big cheese grater.
Hey. Nice.
So we have a good time with our fun.
Yeah. You have to set a plan to have fun. You know, there are things that you can do for yourself. Don't just wait for somebody else to do it, especially if you're single. What I love to tell single folks, the most attractive thing you can be is happy. People like happy people. People are drawn to people that are peaceful and happy.
I always tell him he needs to turn his face off. Y'all ever walk to the airport and the other folks just start having a conversation with you and telling them your life problems? That's him.
He just walked up to me.
They don't know him. You ever had that? And they go on and on and on. It's like, really? Then it started happening to me. He's like, now you need to turn your face off. All of that. But we expect fun.
Yes, we do.
We have so many things with our intentions that we set that happen to us. When we went on a ski trip a couple of years ago, we were in, was it Sundown?
Oh, no. That was Aspen. And on the way home, getting there was a challenge as well because we flew into Denver and then there was like this 4.5. It was
snowstorm.
It was another flight, but the snowstorm wouldn't let us take the other flight. So we piled into the back of this SUV and the guy drove us 4.5 hours in the middle of the night in a snowstorm up the side of the mountain. And we got there, had a wonderful week.
Thankful that we got there safely.
And so we're in the airport trying to go home. And the line is long and they only got one of the metal detectors working, so we're waiting. They come over the intercom. Flight number so-and-so and so-and-so is overbooked. We need some volunteers to get off the plane. We are offering $475 vouchers. Would you like to step over here? We looked at each other, now we need to get home. And so, to make a long story short, they started calling you by name. And it was only like
2 or 3 of us left.
2 or 3 of us left. And as soon as we stepped up to the counter, they said, sorry, Mr. and Ms. Millette, the plane is full. But for your trouble, we'd like to offer you $1,300.
Each.
Well, I said, huh? And then they said each. And would you like that, a voucher, check, or cash? Well, check is fine.
They gave us a check at the counter for $2,600.
And put us on the flight 4 hours later.
So we expect great things to always happen to us.
And so this is one thing when I met her, because I had got into this, listening to The Secret and expecting positive things.
Maybe they might not know what the secret is.
Y'all ever heard The Secret?
Yeah.
Some of you have, okay. It talks about the law of attraction, how you attract everything into your life. And when I started dating her, I told her, get ready for the Millette magic.
God. Really? The Millette magic, huh? Are you that full of yourself? It works so good, my daughter's last name is Carter, and she's like, I want some Carter magic. We say it now all the time. Everything happens. The whole universe is working to make our dreams come true, but the problem is, I haven't set my dreams. It can't help me. Do you set goals at work?
Yeah, you have to.
Do you set those goals for home? Some of you do, yes, but some don't. Do you write them down? Do you post them on the wall? That's what you gotta do. Because then you're looking at it and you're thinking about it. Right now on my board is a new kitchen, a new bathroom, an egress window.
She got a list.
I got a list. He's expecting a settlement. But I got my list ready. It was so bad. My girls, one, they said, can we rent some space on your board?
On our vision board, there was like, we see stuff that you put on your board manifest. There was like, can we get some space on your board? Let's put our stuff on there because we see it's going to happen. And life has a flow and a rhythm. And when some people think that they live by Murphy's Law, everything that could go bad will go bad. How many people have you heard say, or you may have said, if it ain't one thing?
How about this one? He hates this one. A woman's work is never done. Tell him about that, baby. Come on, let it out.
I apologize in advance. When you say that, you put yourself in a permanent victimhood because you can never get done. You can never be at peace. You can never relax. Why? Because a woman's work is never done. A woman's work is done when she sits down. When she chooses to sit down. When you sit down, get in the seat. I'm not talking about sit down and you're still doing 100 things in your head.
I'm still working on that one, y'all.
When you sit down, be where you are. And know that all that you've done is enough. I promise you, it will bring you great peace. But what happens is that we listen to what other people say. And, yeah, girl, don't you know that's right? And you sign up for it.
Co-signing it too.
Unaware, you know. And so what's going to happen when you leave here? You're going to be more cognizant of the words coming out of your mouth, and you're going to be more cognizant of things that are said around you. And you'll be like, no, not me. You know, and I never forget being at work, and I had a manager. She says, which would you rather prefer? Would you rather the guys respect you, or would you rather them be your friend? You know what I told her? I said, I ain't limited to your options. But she fired me after that, but that's another story.
What are you supposed to do? And it was the best thing that ever happened to him, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. It didn't feel like that at first, but
He bounced back.
Yes, indeed. But don't be limited to the things you know. If I were to hold up a glass that was half filled with water, most people would ask the question, is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? And I say, don't be limited to those options.
It's actually awful.
The glass is full. It's half full of liquid and half full of air. So it is full. So don't limit yourself to the options that are set in front of you. Think outside the box.
And that's how you have fun. That's how, a lot of times, you know, we as black women don't want to get our hair wet. Don't want to get in the swimming pool. But that's one of the things he loved about me.
Yeah.
I don't go to bed with the scarf on my head.
Thank you, Jesus.
And he can mess it up whenever he wants to. And we went camping.
Oh, well, yeah, that was...
You know, a lot of black women don't go out in the woods.
We had this retreat at the hotel, not in the woods. That was another thing that impressed me about her. We were dating, and she would take her son on a mother's son camping trip. And so, you know, I drove my 3 girls up there. I got to the campsite. She had the tent pitched. She had the fire going. She had the little bucket of water. She had a curtain. She had another little thing set up that you could eat up under the... I'm like, there you go, girl. You got skills. But, I mean, you can enjoy wherever you are. Don't be limited by your past experience or what you think is a negative. I mean, I don't mind camping. And so, you know, I mean, it's like, okay, let's go do that. And you'll find when you get out of the either or situation and say, and I can do this and I can try that. That opens you up to life.
There was a book Zandra Rhimes wrote.
Oh,
The Year of Yes.
The Year of Yes.
That was a really good book. You know, I want to say yes more. I'm still learning. I can't say yes to everything because there's some things I just can't do, baby. But we'll talk about that later. But that was a book that helped me get out of my possibilities of thinking about the world, saying yes to some things, and having fun with life. And that's really what we want you to think about. When you're having fun, people, your aura is different. You attract a whole bunch of fun people. Things start going well, and you don't think about the pain. So this brings us up to almost lunch. This is our lunchtime, right?
We were supposed to have Angelo Clary, but his mom had an emergency surgery,
Okay.
so you can still take all the time.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
But we still have a break for lunch, correct?
At some point. Yeah. We have
Okay.
some more time.
Gotcha. All right, because our second half is going to be about relationships.
But we got more.
My honey's got Be ye always ready. That's the, being the clergy.
Just growing as a person. One thing that I found that helped me immensely was just being open. But I understand my background, the way I was brought up, kind of forced me in that.
Well, I used to say to you, I'm like, his life must have been awful. I mean, how was it growing up like a kid? He moved all over the place. It was awful the way you described it to me.
I went to 3 high schools, California, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. You're talking about different cultures. And I was tossed back and forth between my mom and my dad and my grandma. And so Sanjay thought this was this horrible existence. But to me, it was, I didn't have to go on vacation because I was in a new spot every couple of years.
Different perspective. Story you know.
And so I wasn't tied to a place or a set of people because I knew that it was always changing. People say, oh, your dad was in the military. Yeah, but we didn't live with him much. But we still moved.
And your mom?
Yeah. And my mom having these psychotic episodes. The third book we're working on, our next book is called Talk Straight, God is Listening. And the third one's called Birds on the Wire, which is my autobiography. Now, Birds on the Wire come from an experience I had with my mom growing up. She would have these religious epiphanies. And God was speaking to her through all sorts of things, but especially the birds. And one day they told her all pictures were bad. So I come home one day, now I'm in like junior high school, she done threw away all the TVs. We can't watch TV no more. And we had, y'all remember them big sets of encyclopedias?
Encyclopedia Britannica?
We had 2 sets. And because pictures were now bad, she made me and my sister go through each encyclopedia and black out everything of a picture of a living thing, whether it's a bird, an animal, a person, a flower, it didn't matter. And so 2 sets of encyclopedias. And so God was speaking to her through the birds because she saw that God gave Noah a sign when the bird had the thing in his mouth. And so God was speaking to her through the birds as well. Now let me tell you, my mom was as brilliant as she was crazy. Because she didn't believe in pictures, we no longer took school pictures. And she made the state of California give her a driver's license with no picture on it. Mom wasn't no joke. Because you couldn't discriminate against her because of her religion.
That's her religion, truly.
Now, if you want to see something funny, watch her try to cash a check with this. Ain't nobody else never seen this before. They go get the manager and another manager. So because God was leading her through the birds, there was this electrical line that went to our neighbor's house. And anytime birds were on the wire, God was upset and the answer was no, no matter what the question was. And so you always question. And so one morning, we get ready to go to school and the bird's sitting on the wire. We can't go. She kept us home from school because the bird sat on the wire. And so I would like, you know, I didn't fully understand it, but I was scared because, you know, they threatened you with the hailstone, you know, you know. And so I saw all of it wasn't always up to par, so I kind of watched the birds. As soon as they get off the wire, hey, Mom, can I go outside? It's all clear.
A young boy,
And I hit it.
figuring it out and navigating through such a situation. It's like, and my background is a whole lot different, which is why I'm like, it must have been awful for you. Same parents, still in the same house, no extra siblings.
Yeah, that's another story.
Yes.
I got 7 brothers and sisters, as we affectionately say, that we know about. And the 7 is from 5 different women. Yeah.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
But I mean, you know, so that has been my experience. But you know, life doesn't have to be terrible. It's all how you look at it. My oldest sister, who she and I share the same mom, just passed away, and she did like a lot of black folks. They didn't have no insurance, and so when me and my other siblings got together, we met at a restaurant and figured out what the bill was, divided it evenly with those that could pay. There was one that couldn't pay. Divided it evenly, and everybody got their little cash app out and pop, 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 pop. To me, that's a heartwarming story. These are my brothers and sisters. They've always been my brothers and sisters. But to come together like that, in this time like that. So, you know, it's how you look at and how you cultivate the relationships, you know, with people. My youngest daughter, they would throw me a birthday party in Massachusetts around Christmas. And Michael walks in. She was like, who's that? That's your Uncle Michael. I had only met him a year and a half ago. And the look on her face said it all. Uncle who? But I mean, those are the stories. And you can be upset about it with things you had nothing or power to do anything about, or you can accept it and grow from it.
You always say that the most important story you will ever tell is the story of you.
How do you tell that story? Does it empower you, or does it make you a perpetual victim? The man won't let me do this. She won't let me have that. I mean, how are you telling your story? This happened to me. So tell your story in a way that empowers you.
I recently went through something at work. As he says, I've been flying all around the world, running things. I didn't have a direct boss. That position was vacant. So I said, you know what? I was always taught that if you step up and see you do it, you'll get the promotion. That's what I was always taught. Always get a promotion. So I stepped up. I was doing everything for a year and a half.
And during this time, she was getting accolades from around the world. I mean, the folks in Indonesia, they were singing songs about her. The folks in Africa made her honorary queen of the Maasai tribe. I mean, she was doing big things, right? And then she comes to work.
And they have hired a new boss.
No, they hired 2 people to do
That's right, 2 people do the one job that I'm doing. Baby knows more because I've told him, he heard it. But I went from loving my job to crying every day to work because they told those who speak out, you know, the greasy wheel, told my new boss, I get upset at people. I demean people. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to have relationships.
And I wouldn't
What was
work for
that,
her.
the angry black woman? They gave him that impression without him getting to know me. And he accepted it. So he takes me out of leading all meetings, running everything. I now can't even send an email unless he approves it. So I'm sitting at home because of COVID, just upset, fuming, crying. When I do go into work, I'm crying on the way to work. I'm trying to keep myself together, ready to quit my job.
Applied And
I
interview.
started interviewing for new places. But what I figured out, the story that I needed to tell, that I had to change to, was that I am so glad I didn't get that job right now. Because he has to deal with COVID. He's on the phone all night and day. He has to be in front of them doing what he needs to do. I got to sit back, get paid the same amount of money, and do very little. But it took me about a month
A little more than one.
to get through that. I was like, I smacked my head against a concrete ceiling. That's what I was telling everybody. They don't love me. They call me the angry black woman. They don't know how to treat me. But the universe knew that I didn't need it. My mother caught COVID, and I got to spend 5 weeks with my parents. Most time I've spent with my dad in my entire life. And I wouldn't have gotten that if I had that promotion. I know I can do that job. That was another thing. I had forgotten me.
And work from there, so didn't miss it.
Yeah, I worked from, I didn't even take time off. I could do that. But I knew I could do that job. But during that time period, I didn't. I forgot who I was. I had to lean on him. And he had to speak those affirmations to me and remind me of what I accomplished so I could pick myself back up. My girlfriends did the same thing. And you need that team around you
A community of people.
when you're going through that. And if you know that you have to rewrite the story, you are now ready. You've got the tools. Okay, I've cried all my tears, I've sucked my snot. Let's get back up and let's figure this out. And I rewrote that story. And this is probably the first time I've told that story
Without crying.
without crying or being emotional. Because they hurt my soul. But I pick my toys up and I bring them to this. We're running this business. I don't work extra anymore because I want to put my extra into this. And I'm redirecting. And that's what God was telling me. I got plans for you. Don't worry about this thing over here that's already passed. That's in the past. Don't ruminate. Don't catastrophize that they'll never give you something else. I got some plans for you, and I needed to change that story so that I could love me and be good and get up and smile again. And a lot of people need that, especially when they're going through a depression. Oh, I never knew how to deal with depression. That was amazing. My son went through depression when he left school. And he came and lived in our basement. We called it the basement dweller. The basement dweller. Go ahead.
I gotta tell you. Now, the boy goes to college chasing behind this girl. That didn't work out so good, okay? So the first year, he managed to get himself on academic probation.
Spent all the college fund money.
So then he wound up back at our house in the basement. He said, well, maybe he go to DeVry, they've got commercials on TV.
He can work from home.
He didn't realize most of the people at DeVry was my age. It ain't no fun if you're 21 years old to go to school with somebody my age, okay? So he quit that. So now he's in the basement. And he plays these video games connected to people all around the world. Shoot 'em up. Now he stay down there all night playing games.
Sleep all day.
And play, and wait, and cuss. Shoot that! Get that!
It's coming up to the vent at 2 in the morning.
So we come down to the refrigerator in the morning, everything gone. We don't see him in the daytime, but at night he eating up a storm. And Sanjay's like, I'm through with him. You go deal with him. So while he's playing these games, he's talking to folks, and he found some folks in the Navy, and they talking about their experience, and yeah, the Navy's the way to go. He said, that sounds like a good idea. He went down and signed himself up for the Navy. Wait. Came and told Sanjay, Mama, I'm going to the Navy, and she cried. I promise you, she cried. This was in October.
Thank you, baby.
This was in October, but he ain't shipping out until March. Oh. And so we were like, well, you got 6 months. Maybe you get a little part-time job, But he said, but I got a job. I'm going in the Navy. But yeah, you might want to eat between now and then.
Yes.
But so he finally got in the Navy, and he's doing well now.
So He had to change his story too.
That's my shit, baby.
I never loved video games so much in my life because they helped him get to where he's going. So, but how about some feedback from you guys? Any questions that you might have?
Comments?
So, I have a comment about your stuff, I guess, in person. I hated one of those, and it drove me insane.
Say that again. I didn't hear what you.
Your son was a gamer,
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
you could hear him talking